Hello, welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome back if you have. My intention is unity, oneness, expansion, creativity, the highest levels of love, light, sovereignty, all of the above. I haven't done a lot of videos in my car recently, mostly because, like many of you, I haven't been driving as much, being that everybody's on quarantine, which we'll talk a little bit about. One of the messages that's coming, well, let me just start with the juice, and then I'll go into the routine aspect of it. I made is it a meme that you call it? A meme with Jon Snow, and I put, eclipses are coming. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones, he used to always say, winter is coming. And I keep hearing June, eclipses are coming. So I want to just really touch on a very important, and I'm going to be doing some light language videos. I'll be doing a lot more of inflow videos. But for now, I just want to keep it real basic and simple. And what I've been guided to share is get back to the basics. We have a tendency to think that it really is about us. It really is about us doing what we need to do right now to stay in our hearts. And you guys, it isn't always easy. It isn't always sunshine and rainbows. I've done so many videos talking about staying in our hearts. And I recognize that it is challenging. We are the trees. We are the roots. We are the branches. We are the leaves, leaving behind that which no longer supports us. We are the access points. We are the anchors. We are the grids, and we are multidimensional beings existing in and within many levels, many planetary expressions, many physical and non-physical expressions in all timelines in no time, and this is the way it is. However, we're here on Earth now with one another, for better or for worse, if you want to look at it that way. And we are in the process of going through this marriage, this divine alchemy of whatever words you would like to use that resonate with you. I'm just going to say a merge of everything in the physical, in this reality now. So what did we come here to do? We could go on forever and talk about what we came here to do, but let's just keep it very simple for this video. I am a creator. I am here to anchor the highest frequencies. So that's my intention. That's what I choose to do. Although I am a rainbow, so some of us go with the flavor of indigo, warriors. Some of us go with the flavor of crystal. Some of us are in that space of just, I am sunshine and rainbows. Some people are truthers. Some people aren't aware of any of that, and they just are good people. You guys, there's all layers and all levels and all dimensions, and that is the way it is. I recognize within me that I have a little bit of all of that. I am able to go into all of those dimensional aspects that I'm able to go into, and I recognize them and I honor them, and I now am at the point in my life where I can honor where I'm at most of the time when I'm there. Why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this because we are in this, from my perspective and from my guidance team, we are in such a convergence of all of that. Everything that I just basically said about us being multidimensional and you know, being embodying all of that. We are also in the process of transmuting, cleansing, purging, uplifting, expanding, anchoring, expressing, creating, right? And no matter what, we are creators. We are always creating. So the question then becomes, what are we creating from? And I talk about this a lot. How are we feeling while we're creating it? And operating from that higher potential. So my intention is to operate from the highest frequencies. There are going to be moments where we feel duality, because that's where we exist in. There are moments when we are going to feel low, and there's going to be moments where we feel a high. But the more we can step into our highest aspect, the more we can see from the higher realms, from that eagle eye perspective, the more we can tap into our extrasensory abilities and honor where we are at in our process, and honor everything and where it's at in our process. That does not mean not standing up for ourselves, speaking our truth. So without going into all those layers, so I want to keep this short and sweet, and then I'm going to get back into another video talking about 3D and truth, because it's been something that's been on my mind and on my heart. The most important thing is focus on love. Just for the next week. Just for this week, we'll say. And of course, this doesn't mean don't ever focus on anything else but love. Just focus on compassion. Do what we can to recognize when we're angry and frustrated, and have compassion for ourselves. And when we come back into that space, then we can refocus and take that. Oh, it's so funny. I just saw a sign that said, be patient in tribulation. Woo, right? Synchronicity. Thank you, universe. I am recognizing that I have signs all around me. I am recognizing that the earth is here to support me, and that I am here to support the earth. I am recognizing the bounty, the beauty, the wonder that is unfolding all around me. I am recognizing that I have moments of impatience and moments of confusion. And in those moments, when I step back into myself and I feel the compassion for the fact that I have feeling, it's okay. That other people are in that same place. And just holding that space can help dissolve some of the confusion, dissolve some of the questions, and to get back to who I really am and remind me of who I no longer choose to be, although I am in all things, right? Because we are all in everything, but that's a whole other ball of wax. And if I feel like crying, cry. But there are things that we can do and use as tools. We have to take this opportunity to educate ourselves on what those are. It is no longer about, and I have been very guilty of this. I look up something to see if it's true. What is our famous saying? We Google it, right? It becomes that habit, let me look it up. And then I just based my reality off of the first 3 or 4 little things that pop up on the internet. I almost said the internet tracking system. It is an internet tracking system. But in this search engine, and I'm searching for something, an answer outside of myself, when if I want to know if something's true, and I'm all over the place right now, but that's because there is this convergence, and that's how we're going to feel sometimes. Oh, I'm just cracking up right now. Car going by, license plate 4D. So when we're plugging into that, it's feeling, it's stepping outside of 4D, right? It's stepping outside of that and feeling, is it true? Now, sometimes we want validation or clarity, and it helps to get it from a search engine. What is powering that search, and who is powering the answers? Dig deeper. We cannot believe everything we're being told right now. We cannot believe everything that we see, because if we are not perceiving things from a higher perspective, our highest aspect, what we are seeing is merrily, I'm hearing merrily, life is but a dream. One aspect of the dream. When there are many layers. How many times have we had a dream, we interpret it, oh, it must mean this. And then somebody else says, oh, but did you know that it means this as well? And all of a sudden, it opens up a whole new broad spectrum. So, for example, I'm going to just use something, and by the way, I will be doing, I said, a video on 4D, 3D, and a lot of the truth that's coming out. But my guides keep saying, for right now, it's like when you become a Reiki, I almost said a Reiki coach, but when you get Reiki certified, one of the things they teach you is, for just this moment, let me be my highest aspect. Let me let go and let me release fear and let me be in that space of love for right now. And that's what we're being asked to do for right now, for right now, for right now, in this moment. And when these things come up, it's okay to feel those things, but then to say, in love and light, help me, my highest aspect, source energy. For right now, I allow myself just to let go of this fear. For right now, I allow myself to let go of this judgment. I am doing my due diligence. I feel this moment, or right now, I'm going to sit with this fear. Give yourself permission to do it. I'm going to sit with this fear, and I'm going to let it percolate. And then I'm going to ask myself, where is this coming from? What is this teaching me in this moment? How can I use this as food to fuel the love and compassion that I know is actually behind and deeper and beneath and above and around? All right. So there's no more of this, someone's going to save me. There's no more of this victimizer. I mean, unless we're choosing to play in that role. It's still collapsing. It's still playing out around us. And we're seeing it in so much. But for example, if we go, oh, I'm on quarantine and I can't go outside because it's cold. Order a light bulb, those grow lights, get some plants, plant some seeds. Dirt doesn't cost money. If you don't have a lot of money, go and get dirt from the outside and make some potted plants and buy some seeds and connect with the earth that way. Get some cheap grow lights in your living room, sit underneath them and pray to the dirt and Mother Earth. Put your hands in it, put your feet in it. Get some cheap crystals online or rocks. There are a lot of ways around what is being done in 3 and 4D to try to mask our communication, our reality, to censor, and that's a whole other video, to censor our senses, to censor our sensibility, to keep us from taking action. And the more we shut down and read the top 5 news reports and whatever is showing up on our Facebook feed and being advertised, and I can't tell you how many times I've said something and somebody goes, oh, well, that information is false, because they just heard that it was. They didn't actually look and see for themselves. So we're being invited to use our inner child, our inner wisdom, our inner knowing, and our gut to tell us if what we're seeing is real. We've got the ability to do that. And the only person that can tell us otherwise is us. We cannot convince our neighbor that anything's real if they don't choose to see it. But the question is, what are we choosing to see? What are we looking at? Are we just looking at a facade of the media, of the television, of whatever it might be? Anything. It could be, let's say a video comes out about extraterrestrials and craft that's been seen in the sky. Ask yourself, is that real? Is that a higher level of I just went galactic, but is that a higher level of are these beings plugged into sovereignty? You'll get a feeling in your gut. You might see something. You might see a picture. Asking yourself these questions empowers you, not just being spoon-fed and looking the other way and going, well, it must be real because I saw it. How did it make you feel? Right? There's so many places I could go with this, but get back into the heart. Get out of fear just for this moment, just for this week. We've got some eclipses coming up. I'm going to say the same thing next week. If you feel fear, do whatever you can to move it through. your body. Not just to transmute it and morph it into something else. You have to digest it first. Integrate it first. Acknowledge, digest, ask questions, feel into it, and use it for fuel to assist in moving through this transition. This is a transition. This is a holding station. We are in a transition of a convergence of all of these energies, and the only way that we can see with eyes to see is if we get clear on our own vision, our own feelings, get clear on what we are perceiving, how we are perceiving it, our perceptibility, not what we've been taught from our parents, our school, habitual patterns. And then last but not least, the other message that was coming through is routine. Get out of our routine. We can find comfort in our routine, and a routine can be very empowering, but a routine can be very disempowering as well. If we can't do the usual things we're used to doing, maybe it's a sign from the universe saying try something different, right? So there is no going back to our old routine. It does not exist. It cannot exist. Because if we go back to our old routine, that's like saying, I want to go back to 3D. I want to go back to grade school. I want to go back to high school. Who really wants to go back to high school? I certainly don't. It's time to step up and step into our own maturity. Maturity is coming up a lot. That word is maturation. What are we matching our energy to? Our maturality. What reality do we want as mature yet playful, joyful adults? Do we want this harsh reality structure as a mature, must wear a tie, must be a robot? Not that there's anything wrong with ties and suits. Playing dress up and putting on a costume can be a lot of fun. But a clothing is costume. Take all that away and who are we really? What are we feeding into? So we're at a maturity cycle. We're trying to, again, get into that divine marriage, that getting through the mirage, combining and waking up to our divine marriage with ourselves. Feminine, masculine, right? Earth, beyond earth, all of the elements. We are merging and we are creating this connectedness, reconnecting at a cosmic level. We are not separate from the sun. We are not separate from the earth. We are not rulers of anything other than what we are. Us, oneness. We are not better than. And when I say ruler, we are we are rulers. We are creating the rules, right? Where are we creating them from? But we are not creating rules that are no longer based on an old paradigm and an old program, based on something that was a false, I'm hearing false marriage, false mirage. This idea and concept that we were married to something that we really weren't. We weren't. That was false. What vows have we taken, right? Those vows were only true in the old matrix, and they really weren't true. It was a mirage. So the mirage is starting to fall apart, and the only way we can see what's really in front of us, or what's really inside of us, is by opening up our eyes to see. And we have to use our heart as a projector to then filter out the distractions, to filter out the, I'm hearing like the antimatter, what doesn't matter, and come back to what really does matter, right? It's like we then are able to balance the scales, because if we are still buying into that and we're not balancing the scales, right? And I'm seeing a reference to the fish. So when I see scales, I'm seeing Libra, liberation, Libra, freedom. I'm seeing a reference to scales like fish, like the old Piscean age and the Vesica Pisces. All of that was an inversion, and the tables have been turned. And I keep seeing this reference to a DJ spinning. We are that DJ. What are we creating? What are we going to what music are we going to create? We are individually yet and uniquely in diversiveness, that as a collective. And it's maturity time. It's time to step up to the plate. I'm hearing stand up, doing it from a place of compassion and love, yet igniting the fuels of change and fire within, that trimergence, that trivergence, that I'm hearing the triple flame, right? The flame of that divine marriage and unification. And if we can't love ourselves, then how can we expect to find love outside of ourselves? If we can't find peace within ourselves, then how can we expect to see it outside of us? This is where it all starts. It's like the kids yoga that I went through. It's peace begins with me, right? Say it 5 times, whisper it 5 times, and then say it silently 5 times. Peace begins with me. And it's true. Or love begins with me. I think it's really original. Peace begins within. But that's where we have to start. And if we can't get there at all, and we're so scrambled, then how can we see it even if it shows up for us? It could show up for us on a silver platter, and we're so scrambled because we haven't been able to integrate the fear that we've been feeling, or we haven't even been given ourselves the opportunity to digest it. A spaceship could land tomorrow on somebody's front lawn, and if you're in fear about it, you're not going to be able to discern if it's a good guy or a bad guy. And I say that from a very linear 3D, 4D space, but just for this particular. Or you could be in so much fear about it, they could be the nicest beings ever, right? And because you're in fear, we run away. I'm just using that for those people that want these spaceships to land. What kind of spaceships do we want to land? How are we going to know who is sovereign and who is coming to the table? How are we going to be able to differentiate between military type spaceships and the good guys? Heart, eyes to see, ears to hear. You can feel it. It's going to feel expansive from the inside out, not oppressive, right? And this is a whole other video I'll get into. Let's not go galactic, and let's just keep it simple. Okay? Those that want to know if the next candidate for the next presidential candidate, here, heart. If we don't like some of the things about them, whoever it might be, either side, dig a little deeper. Watch some of the things that aren't being shown on mainstream media and decide for yourself. But you can't decide for ourselves. We can't decide for ourselves if we're too discombobulated and scrambled. Because then it's like, I don't know. How do I feel? Ooh, I don't know. I don't like that, but I don't like this either. Heart, coherence, love. And I could go this goes into so many different ballparks. This isn't just about politics. This just isn't about the truth or community and spaceships coming. It isn't about all of that, because all of that is outside. What are we attracting? What are we pulling in? If we move and morph and change and anchor the higher frequencies as a collective, everything else will unfold around us to support that transition, that collective, that light, that expansion. And a lot of what we're seeing is showing us that we haven't been in that place. We've been as a collective, and it's catching up to us. It's an echo. We're hearing it. And I'm talking 3D. In the 5th dimensional energies and beyond, this has already happened. It's already played out. There are multiple timelines that are playing out. How has it already played out? Yes, because everything is happening now. So we are being invited to come back to our heart and visualize, not who and what players and how a spaceship is going to land or how this cure for the virus is going to come out. That is a 3D linear perspective of what we think is going to be the best solution. Let's go within and ask for the best solution to present itself through sovereignty, love, benevolence for all, and operate from that knowingness. And when things show up for us that cause disarray, right? Disarray, we are a ray of light, scattering our light. Rein it back in, ray it back in, come back to the heart, use this as a filter to then look, listen to the tones, feel, and then recognize that is not in alignment with what I want for myself, for my children. That person is not in alignment. But what perspective is it based on? Again, diving deeper. So that's it for now. So much more to share. Thank you so much for tuning in. In love and light, guys. Namaste.